Hello, I am back. Um, kind of wanted to get some more of this in since I'm interested and I've had time for my voice to recover. So here we go. Get the sound back on. Oops. um, Last time I pushed a button. Wait, balls. Meh. Controls. Meh. Wait, that's not what I want at all. Eh. Okay. First. No. Nope, none of that. Um, when you don't trust things. Anyway, it's just let's just move on. As usual, Mel's eyes chased the white-haired girl, and Nellie pursed her lips in frustration at him, but she was still rather docile. Even taking into account how self-centered she behaved, how fickle her temper, Nellie's fits were no worse than a playful kitten. See, at that very moment, our lively little feline had her claws poised to swat the flaxen-haired young man. Mel, you promised me, or have you forgotten? I haven't forgotten. I'm just asking if we can go another day. Another day? This isn't something that happens every day. I've been looking forward to tonight's performance for so long. There's nothing I can do about that. We're having a gathering at the priest's home tonight. Several high-ranking officials have come up from the mainland just for this. Who cares? I care? You know, Nellie, it doesn't have to be me who goes with you. No, I want you to go, Mel. So, key important things. Let people like things. Let people have their own wants and desires. It's that whole, like, if they're free to do what they like, it's more often they will come back to you if that is so your decision. But this weird little incesty thing is kind of weird, and I hope it doesn't really progress, but here we go. You've been so distant lately, dearest Mel. Hey there. You refuse to do anything with me. That's not true. Tell me, if you can't go today, when can you? Will you be willing to go out with me? When will you be willing to play cards with me, have tea together? I can't make any promises. I have things to do, obligations. And Nellie, you're almost an adult yourself. Stop acting like such a child. I'm not an adult yet, I'm still a kid. If it means I don't get to play with you anymore, dearest Mel, then I don't want to be an adult. Nellie, you can't. Lady Nellie, the master wishes to speak with you. Huh? Father does? What could he want? Go on, Nellie. Can't make Father wait. He's very particular about people keeping appointments. Yes, he is. Unlike you, dearest Mel. What's got her in such a foul mood? Oh, thank goodness for small miracles. Nellie just won't seem to take me at my word lately. You mustn't be so harsh on her. She is your one and only darling little sister. You're right, but still, she's taken it a bit too far lately. Oh, I'm not so sure. She does not seem to be behaving any differently to me. Am I the one acting differently then? Well, enough about that. Can I ask you a favor? Me? What can I do for you? I was thinking. Physically, Mel was undeniably a young man. but the smirk that crossed his lips as he schemed gave his face a sweet look of a little boy. Or perhaps that was simply part of his charm. It was not the age disparity, but the character that made the smile so heartwarming. What did he ask of me? You'll find out soon enough. It's cloudy. Thank goodness for that, too. I thought it would be even better if it were even darker out. Hmm. I believe the textile shop was around here. Ah, hi there. Lord Mel. Fancy meeting you here? Yeah, what a surprise. So, what do you say we take this chance to go for a little walk? Since you're sensitive to the sunlight, we can keep our eyes out for shadowy areas as we go. And if you feel unwell, just let me know. Um, I was sent out to run an errand. Don't worry about that. Come on, follow me. I'm sorry, it wasn't actually an accident that we crossed paths. I planned this out ahead of time, asked to have you sent out on a fake errand. Plus, it feels like I'm always on alert back at the mansion. Huh. I can't relax in my own house. It's actually kind of funny. Sorry, that was inappropriate of me. I just thought since the sun's mostly blocked out, it would be alright if. I'm feeling just fine. Ah, of course I get her out of the house and I can't even think of anything to say. Hey, yes? Have you settled into your life at the mansion? I have. Everyone's been such a big help. That's good to hear. Indeed. So, yes? Nellie told me that she had you help her redecorate her room some time back. Ah, yes, that was shortly after I arrived. What of it? Yeah, that day Nellie told me that you don't, um, I don't. Never mind. Sorry, it's not important. It is important, but I can't just ask how she feels about me. That would make it sound like I do, don't I? Lord Mel. Oh, sorry, I had something on my mind. It looks like it might rain again today. The weather usually gets better as summer approaches, not worse like it has been. It won't be a heavy storm, though. No? The wind is too gentle. You can tell from that? Vaguely, but yes. Huh, that's impressive. I often leave the house unprepared, only to find myself sloshing back in the rain. You laugh a lot more than you used to. Do I? Yeah, and I like that. You look better with a smile on your face. A smile suits a lady. A smile suits Lady Neely more than I. What? Her smile and yours are completely different. Also, a smile suits you as well, Lord Mel. Do you really think so? What am I supposed to do in the face of a smile like that? So, yes. Knowing her, if I ask if I'm imposing, she'll say no without hesitation. Trying to cover myself isn't going to get me anywhere. Hold on for a second. I never did get you those flowers like I promised. There was a single white rose blooming in the garden. I was planning to give it to you, but it disappeared before I had the chance. So I'd like you to have this. It's not a real rose, but it won't wilt either. I... Mel was holding an ornamental white rose. It was an impressively detailed replica of the real thing crafted by an incredibly skilled artisan's hand. It was, I imagine, made by the same craftsman from whom Mel had ordered Nellie's birthday necklace. The young man, who but a handful of days earlier had said, "You know, sweetheart, but come in to commission a present for a girl." The master of the shop must have been quite surprised. Perhaps it had given him a good laugh instead. It was for that moment that he so desperately sought for time together with the white-haired girl. I don't know what you like, so I had to base it on my sister's tastes. My apologies, I cannot accept this. Is the design not to your liking? No, if you're concerned about how much I paid for it, don't be. I just want you to have it, that's all. Please. Why are you so kind to me? Why? Because... I'm sorry, I can't accept it. A clear glint of flustered panic was visible in her red eyes. There is not a girl in the world whose heart would not flutter at the sight of the sparkling rose accessory. But her reaction was far from delight. As a matter of fact, there were traces of fear and apprehension in her countenance. I beg your pardon. Hold on. With a look of distress on her face, the white-haired girl made a run. But Mel grabbed her by the arm in the nick of time. At least tell me why. Is it because you dislike me? I never said that. Something's wrong with me. From the day that you arrived at the mansion, it's like I haven't been myself. I've been strangely aflutter ever since then. Whether I try to study or to read, none of it sticks. I'm just looking at pages of text, tracing rows of letters, only for them to disappear as soon as I look away. It's all because of you. I'm truly sorry. Please, don't be any more generous than you already have been. When I'm with you, my willpower wavers. What do you mean by that? I'm so sorry. Wait. Mel's grip loosened for a moment, allowing her to slip free and dart off like a gust of wind, but not giving him a chance to stop her a second time. The dumbfounded, flaxen-haired boy stood frozen in place, left all by himself. The breeze, which the white-haired girl had called gentle earlier, felt faintly chilly, almost as if mocking him. What looks like she's even less fond of me than I thought. God, I'm crying. You're not. I'm pathetic. Well, if it isn't Mel, what might you be? Are you crying? I'm so pitiful. Sorry you had to see this. Think nothing of it. I passed by a girl a few moments ago. She appeared to be rather distressed as well. Did something happen between the two of you? I wasn't good enough, it seems. Also not true. Not good enough. That was the new maid that I was telling you about before. I was, like you said, Father, I was quite keen on her. Quite. enough to bring me to tears like a miserable child. But she rejected me. I don't even have what it takes to be a stand-in prince. Mel. I apologize for complaining to you about this. I'm completely hopeless. Mel. Please don't try to cheer me up. I don't need any sympathy. I just... No. Mel, listen to me. What? I've seen that girl before. What do you mean? You said she was a servant at your house, right? But in which case... Yes, she is. Please tell me, Father. Where did you see her? Why must you be so evasive? It... It was probably someone else. Someone else? You're saying you mistook someone who stands out as much as her? Father. She and a man who I assume is her father paid a visit to the church once. They came asking for food, their clothes in tatters. The two were emaciated. I don't think they were eating daily. What? Wait a minute, are you saying she's a beggar? But Father said she came from an esteemed house. Which is why I might be mistaken. She has a singular aspect, but it's possible there is another girl who looks similar. Deep down, the priest surely believed the opposite, and so he said sternly, like a teacher to a pupil, "But you must be absolutely certain, Mel. Understood? You cannot proceed any further without knowing her ancestry." May I visit the church, Father? By all means. In the back of Mel's mind, a vision of the night of the storm, the night the white-haired girl arrived at the mansion, was surely replaying. She had been wearing little more than rags covered in grime, hardly the appearance of a respectable young lady of class. Have I been putting her through unnecessary stress? If she actually turns out to be nameless, to be rankless, no matter where she comes from, my heart is decided. I will not fool myself about how I feel any longer. No, I cannot fool myself. But how does she feel? What will everyone else think? I have to find out why she was welcomed into our house. I'll ask Mother or Father. No, if for some reason they don't know she isn't an aristocrat, I'm better off not saying anything. But if they don't, then does that mean she's been lying to us and to them? I have to find out. This time I must get answers. No, absolutely not. You come back and the first thing you say is that? I hate you, Father. I will not stand for this. Ah. Why? Why would he just suddenly throw that on me? He didn't even ask for my opinion. No, I won't do it. I'm fine the way things are. I'm just fine. Dearest Mel, I need your help. I don't want to get married. Well, I feel like those are supposed to be breakpoints, but they're really just not. This may seem sudden, but I must confess that I made a grave mistake. My transgression is that I was unable to completely predict where this path we were traveling led. My hands were full dealing with my intermediate day-to-day tasks. I could do naught but pray that there was happiness waiting in the future. Happiness for everyone who lived in Rose Manor. But I am but a mere maid. There were limits to what I'm allowed to do. And furthermore, it was not my place to offer her my hand. Roads, such as the ones we were following, have a way of diverging with little warning. And if you do not turn the wheel at the exactly right as those sudden forks, you may end up somewhere horribly off course. I was well aware of that fact, which is why I thought that what I did was for the best. It's happening again. I made sure the door was closed, but I can sense someone standing there. Someone watching me. Footsteps. They're looking down at me. I want to open my eyes, but I can't do it. Curses. You're just going to leave without doing anything, aren't you? Then hurry up and get out of here. Free me from this torture. No, tonight they're on my bed now, looking down on me. My neck. Well, I can't speak. I can't move. No. These cold fingers. That soft breath. Who? Why? I can move my body, but that's not important right now. You smell of roses, the scent of a world far removed from ours. He made to gasp at the sight before him, only to realize he could not. The pressure of her cold fingertips wrapped around his throat robbed him almost entirely of his ability to breathe. Why? He silently mouthed the word. For that moment at least, her melancholic ruby eyes were focused wholly on the flaxen-haired young man. In them glowed a faint flicker of willpower, a continuous, burning agitation that roused her to action. I told you to stop being so kind to me. Why? But it will all be over soon. Please, don't make any noise. Why? To put an end to this family, you are my only. Why are you shaking? What? Upon hearing Mel's words, the strength drained from her slender fingers. He had not been questioning why she would do such a thing. There was only a trace of bewilderment visible in his eyes. He did not shout, he did not tremble in fear. He instead expressed concern for the young woman who looked like a cornered rabbit. I am not shaking. You are. I can see it. He slowly regained his breath. Mel's voice grew clearer. Conversely, the red-eyed girl's grew progressively more faint and raspy. You are not doing this because you genuinely want to. There's some other reason. This is what I desire. Have you been to my room before? You have. I'm sorry. Well, I'll be damned. Tell me, why are you shaking? You're not putting any pressure on my neck. Why haven't you run? Because I cannot fathom why you would do this, so I am not afraid. Do you hate me so deeply that you want me dead? Do you despise me to the point that you'd be willing to take my life with your own hands? No, I don't. See? Like I said, there's another reason. If it isn't because you detest me, then tell me why is it? I'm so sorry. I'll leave your room now. I'll do the best not to bother you any further, so please forget anything happened. Do you really think I'm going to say okay and let you go? Real quick, for anyone watching, gonna throw this disclaimer in here again. This place is questionable, to say the least. Alright, here we go. Why can't you tell me the reason? I'm sorry. Alright then, I'll try and guess. What? It has something to do with your lineage? You're troubled by it somehow? Am I right? I thought so. How do you know about that? The priest at the church told me he had seen you before. He also told me a little about your origin. But that's all I know. The only difference between us is social rank. I don't know what would cause you to do this. Please, tell me who you really are. Tell me why you came to the mansion, why Father allowed you to be a maid. I haven't said anything to Mother or Father. If you're hiding the truth from them, I still don't know. Or they still don't know. But I want to. I won't get mad at you or have you punished. I'll even swear to God if you'd like. I want to be the prince who whisks you away. I want to be the prince who rescued the girl from the dark mansion and showed her the world. I know I'm not that dependable, but I want to help you. Why? Why do you show me such passion? Why do you treat me like this? I have my hand around your neck. Why? I thought it would be obvious. Or have I not expressed myself well enough? I love you. Every time you push away, it crushes me. I didn't even know my heart could feel such distress. If you dislike me and don't want to be with me, then we'll just have to live with that. As much as it may hurt. But if you have some other reason, some weight on your shoulders that you can't share with anyone else, tell me. I want to help you. There are other options. Things that we can do about your... No, that's not it. I tried to hate you so many times. So yes, there's more to it than just social status. But I can't do it. I couldn't make myself do it. What do you mean? I had so many chances, but I couldn't do anything. She spoke in a stifled voice, as if every word had to fight to escape her lips. She appeared so fragile, so precarious looking down on him, that it seemed as though a gust of wind were to whisk through this room. It would blow her away completely. Her pale fingers were trembling, like she had tried to squeeze them again and failed. However, her hand did not pull away from his still slender neck. Her hand is so cold. He did not challenge her. He simply kept his eyes fixed on hers, as if carefully watching to see what she would do next. I'll say it as many times as I must. I love you. And I wouldn't be able to accept losing you without knowing anything. So please, tell me the reason. I'll see to it that you're taken care of. Those are the words. Those are the words of a man of means, Lord Mail. Of someone blessed enough to have pity for others. You are a foolish young man. You know nothing. the greatest fool of all is myself. If you agree to punish me, I will talk. Tell me. Her long white hair and soft flaxen hair touched, just for the briefest of moments, but it appeared the darkness, as though they had fused together. The white-haired girl, having finally gathered the courage, began to slowly tell her tale. On the night of the storm, I paid a visit to Rose Manor, this mansion. My father and I were always on the move, traveling across the land by foot, so it was only recently we had heard rumors of Rose Manor. There are several reasons we couldn't stay in one place. First is my unusual appearance. People often find the color of my skin or eyes disconcerting. So after living in one place for long enough, unsettling rumors would begin to spread, forcing us to leave. Another reason was my father's line of work. He painted pictures for a living, but he had trouble finding a patron, so he had to work day to day. When he was no longer able to find work in the city, we'd move. We were birds that migrated without a flock. When we arrived in this town, my father was exhausted and weak. That is when we learned of Rose Manor, the family who dwelled within it. Rhodes is a name my father could never forget. He was long ago a painter in the service of the Rhodes family. Hold on. Your father was an artist here? Yes. It was before I was born, so you probably don't remember, Lord Mel. So, you knew about us before you came. For as long as I can remember, I've known the name Rhodes. My father was chased from your house, just because they didn't like something he painted. Having failed the Rhodes family, no one else would become his patron. Just as good reputation spreads, so does bad one. Branded once as a failure, no one will take you in ever again. You nobles throw your parties and spread your gossip about this painter or that sculptor. The rose you tried to give me is an example of that. It was certainly crafted with skill, but the jeweler is owned only because some aristocrats spoke highly of him. My father's paintings were no less skillful, but his was a talent that would not be easily imitated. No one was willing to separate the art from the artist. The Rhodes family stole everything from my father, but even thrown out onto the street, his only skill was painting. That was all he could do to earn a living. What little money we had for food, he gave to me. He did anything he could to ensure my survival, even at the expense of his own well-being. My father passed away in this town. Up until his last breath, he was only ever concerned about me. He held me in his arms and ran his fingers through my hair, with an apologetic look on his face. If I had a normal appearance, I am sure life would have been much easier. He was always telling me how sorry he was for making life so hard, even though it was not his fault I looked like this. I disdained the Rhodes family for putting my father through such hardship. I imagined you were still living in decadence, acting as though nothing ever happened. No. You wouldn't even care about the fate of one simple painter. Our lives meant nothing to you, and so I sought to bring misfortune upon you. And that's why you tried to kill me. In truth, I had wanted to take the master's life, but your father spends so much time outside the mansion. And so, you're right. If they lost me, it would put my entire family in a very difficult position. That is the whole of my tale. Now you know about my father and how I feel about you. Having told you the blackness in my heart, I cannot go on living as nothing has changed. Please give me punishment. Why? Why would you have me put the one I love through any more misery? I am not fit for your affection. Not only because I'm not an aristocrat, but because every time I spoke with you, I did so holding this darkness in my heart. Does that not unnerve you? In the end, it was my family's actions that caused you so much suffering. That your father were still alive. Yeah. Were your father still alive, perhaps I could have done something. I'm sorry. And besides, you hesitated. You didn't actually kill me. What am I even to punish you for? As you said, you had countless opportunities, but you could not bring yourself to do it. Tell me, why couldn't you kill me? Because I. If it's because I've given you enough reason to have even the slightest bit of interest in me. Nothing was as I envisioned it. What? I assumed the residents of Rose Manor would be cold people who believed that wealth and rank mattered above all. But on the night of the storm, the mistress was the first to extend her hand to me. I arrived at the mansion disguised as a beggar. Actually, disguised is not the right word, as many nights I only survived on the generosity of others. The mistress did not send me away when she saw me. Quite the opposite. She took me in as a servant. So that was Mother's doing. I could scarcely believe she would invite a stranger into her home, that she would treat a stranger with such compassion. I thought perhaps she knew who my father was. I had never met any of you before, so she simply must be that kind-hearted of a woman. And the mistress continued to treat me with kindness despite my disquieting appearance and the darkness in my heart. In time, I began to grow less and less sure of myself. What was what I meant to do truly right? Were the things I felt truly justified? It was a certain fact that my father was here and that he had been chased out. So I decided I should take your life and put an end to everything before I wavered any further. And then, and then, and then, you were too kind to me. It's all your fault. Because you laughed with such affection, because you gave me smiles like that, because of the things you'd say. You. I'm so sorry. No, no, don't apologize. I'm so happy to hear that, despite the unusual circumstances. Please, don't say you want to leave. Don't ask me to punish you. I couldn't do anything for your father, but at least allow me to do something for the daughter he cared for so dearly. You are far too kind-hearted. I'll be happier with you around. You can become a real aristocrat. Huh? There are many families that would be willing to adopt you, especially knowing that it would bring them ties with the Rhodes family in the near future. Are you saying, as long as you're okay with that, of course? I don't understand. How could you possibly say that? I have my hand around your neck even as we speak. It seems reasonable enough to me. I'm desperately looking for some way to not have to lose you. But I couldn't. I don't know any etiquette or social customs. How could I? You can learn all that. You're pretty and naturally graceful. You'll do just fine. Um, you are such an aristocrat, Lord Mel. What? The, the, the way you can just come up with compliments so easily. Oh, oh, only for you. Nellie says my poetry has as much charm as a dissertation. I don't understand theater. It puts me to sleep. You laughed, thank goodness. Keep smiling. You don't have to stop. A smile on your face is a smile on mine. No matter how deep the darkness has taken root in your heart, it can always be removed. I believe people are capable of forging their own futures. I. What do you say we go to the theater sometime? I promise I won't sleep through it. At the private theater, we can get seats at the far end of the second floor so we don't have to stand. They would be pretty lavish seats, and it would be a chance to give you that experience of a noble life. But please, don't be shy. I can have clothes prepared for you. I'll ask one of the maids who can keep a secret. Say, the one with black hair. She kinda scares me, though. I don't know what I'm supposed to say. How could you show such compassion for me? I tried to inflict harm upon you. Am I allowed to feel such joy? For every day you suffered, a day of happiness. That is how it has to be. To stand by my side. He so softly whispered the girl's name. For several long moments, her lips trembled in trepidation, but in time she squeezed them together and made a smile. He wrapped her arms around her unbelievably slender, frail frame, holding her tight in an affectionate embrace. Mel approached me the next day. He explained to me the course of events and had asked me to dress her up more beautifully than any other noble girl had ever done. She was already a very pretty girl, so without much effort on my part, simply putting her in a dress, she radiated beauty. I was quite partial to her smile, so I agreed to help, thinking that if it would lead to their happiness, I would not ask for anything more. I never anticipated what would happen next, though. Perhaps my hopes were unreasonable after all. Now, Nellie. You love the theater. Don't look so cross. Hmm. Nellie was out with a man other than her brother that evening, a rare sight indeed. She was quite clearly in a foul mood. I will not stand for this. That I should have to marry a man such a sorry. I will not stand for this. That I should have to marry a man as disagreeable as Arthur. It's unthinkable. The young man at her side was Nellie's fiancé, selected by her parents. On any other occasion, she would have snubbed an invitation from any man who was not Mel, but she had little say in the matter. She was, for lack of a better word, forced to go with him. Oh, and how furiously she had fought against it. She had shoved aside the Abigail trying to fasten her corset, locked herself in her room, sobbed for quite some time. It required the combined efforts of several of us to get her ready and out the door for her date. Come now, you should at least pretend you're enjoying yourself. Or do you want people to think we don't get along? Do we get along? Well, I want to, for what it's worth. What it's worth to you is my name, not me. Are you really going to be like that? I went out of my way to take you to your favorite play. The least you could do is be a little kinder to me. What was it called again? Romeo and Juliet? It's been running for 6 or 7 years now. family like yours or mine could pay to have brand new script written. So why should we have to see an old play at a theater full of commoners? It might be private, even so. I'd rather just have the show put on at my estate. Stop talking already. Why should I? Why should I have to marry someone like you? I have absolutely no desire to marry you. Whatever it takes, I will put a stop to this. I'll talk to Father as many times as I must. Please don't make a scene. It's shameful. There are people around, remember? You represent your family. Besides, our family are hardly strangers to one another. Try as you might, I doubt you can get rid of me. No matter what you say, you can't break this engagement. You don't. Your parents gave you too much freedom. Look what a spoiled little girl you became because of it. Goodness, you're going to be quite the handful. Oh, get off your high horse. No, you're the one on the high horse, Nellie. You're going to be my wife. You could at least put some effort into liking me. No. No. What happens when I take you to a social engagement and you act like this? It's shameful to the both of us. This coming from someone who used to call me Lady Nellie? What's your problem? When you choose to act like a lady, I'll glad you call you that again. Goodness gracious. Put yourself in my shoes for a second. I have to marry a bratty little girl just because it'll help my family. How dare you talk about me that way? You're not a damn princess. Open your eyes. If you think talking to your father will get you out of this marriage, you're welcome to try, but I doubt he'll have it, though. Otherwise, you can just go on complaining about it to your friends. Oh, that's right. As far as I'm aware, you don't have any friends. Enough. As you wish. This is so frustrating. Why should I have to listen to this jerk mock me? I have Mel. I know. If Father won't listen to me, I'll ask Mel to talk to him. Mel will be able to convince him. Come on now, your favorite play is about to start. Maybe you should face forward. Enjoy it while it lasts. You won't be talking down to me much longer. What? Is that... Wait, Nellie. Get back here. What is that damn child's problem? I didn't give her permission to leave because you fucking shouldn't, couldn't. Father will be sure to hear about this. I can't have the roads making any more fool of me. Hi. You're fine. Don't be shy. But so many people are looking at me. That's because you're gorgeous. No, it's because I look strange. I assure you, that's not the case. It's true you have an unusual appearance. But right now, the unique color of your hair, your skin, and your eyes all serve to accentuate your beauty. You sound like a prince, Lord Mal. What? You think so? I mean, I did say I'd be a stand-in for a prince for you, but I think you're a wonderful prince, not just a stand-in. Which makes you my princess, then. I don't... You're supposed to say, yes, I am. There. You're gonna make me sad. Uh, I guess I'll just have to keep working until you submit. Gross. Some psychological manipulation here is not okay, but whatever. Keep going. Oh, hey, the play's about to start. Um, what am I supposed to be doing? Nothing in particular. Just sit back and enjoy the show. Oh, but there is one thing. Yes? If I start dozing off, could you maybe wake me up? Ah. Nah. What? Dearest Mel. Nellie? Dearest Mel, why are you... What are you doing here? I... I asked her to join me. It's nothing to get worked up over. It is. It absolutely is. How many times did I ask you to come with me and you wouldn't? You don't even like theater, dearest Mel, and you brought her? You're right. I'm not especially fond of plays, but I wanted her to be able to see one. Why are you making such a big deal out of this, Nellie? It's not suitable for you. She's not suitable for you. What? She isn't good enough for you. Why would you choose her? She's creepy and you have no idea where she came from. Don't talk about her like that, Nellie. But you don't even know who her family is. I do. What? Lord Mal? It's fine. You stay quiet. Like the other maid, she comes from a respectable house. I looked into it. However, circumstances prevent me from telling you what house that is. No, you're lying. That can't be. She doesn't act like a lady. She lacks etiquette and probably can't even dance. You expect me to believe someone like her's from a good house? Enough already, Nellie. Mel yelled at me. You have my word. You don't have to worry about her. So please, stay out of this, Nellie. It isn't any business of if I spend time with her, is it? But, but, dearest Mel. You need to stop hanging all over me, Nellie, and find someone for... Wait, what are you doing at the theater? Are you here alone? Ah. Oh yes, dearest Mel, about that. I have a favor to ask of you. I've been wanting to talk to you about it since yesterday, but I hadn't seen you at all. Settle down, Nellie. What is it? Father had me engaged without consulting me. He picked Arthur. That disagreed a little. Oh, right. That. I already know. What? I heard it from Father. That reminded me. You didn't show up at breakfast this morning. I see now it was because of your engagement. Dearest Mel, is that who you're here with today? In that case, you should get back to him rather than waste any more time with us. You knew I didn't want to get married, Mel, so why? Why didn't you talk Father out of it? Because it's your time, Nellie. If there's someone you'd rather be with, then you can try persuading Father, but you're the only prince for me, dearest Mel. A prince always grants his princess's wishes, doesn't he? I just want you to say you'll do that for me, dearest Mel. Lady Nellie, you stay out of this. It's all your fault. It's all because you showed up and played your little tricks on it. I warned you about this rat, dearest Mel. She is not suitable for... I told you I had had enough already. Ooh, bad luck. How much longer are you going to continue acting like a child? I can deal with you being a spoiled little girl, but how dare you be so derisive to someone else? Mel hit me. Lord Mel. Go on, the show's about to start. People are giving us dirty looks. Return to your betrothed now. I will apologize to him afterwards as well. You said you'd always be at my side. You'd always be my prince. The time for make-believe is past, Nellie. No, no, I refuse to believe it. I will not have it. Nellie. My goodness, that girl. Are are you not going after her, Lord Mel? No, just let her go. The only place she even has to go is home. I just wish she'd start acting a little bit more like an adult. I imagine Lady Nellie simply. She what? No, wasn't my intention to get between you. Don't blame yourself. It's not your fault we had an argument. But you two are so close. Well, we're siblings. We're supposed to be close. But nothing more. I do care about Nellie, and I enjoy spending time with her. But she's my sister, nothing more. Anyway, sorry for making such a scene. No, I imagine she left with her betrothed behind her without saying anything, so I'm going to apologize to him. We have to keep up appearances. Stay here, I'll be right back. Oh, this can't go well. Very well. Master, what are your thoughts on the tale so far? Which of the siblings do you think was in the right? The brother or the sister? None of them? Oh my, I apologize for the abrupt question. Did I startle you? What do you think? Yes, I believe Mel was probably right. He was also surely happier than her. As Mel had anticipated, Nellie fled from the theater, leaving her fiancé behind. She forced her way into a carriage, stopped outside, probably one for a different nobleman, and ordered it to take her home. Mel's assumption was correct. The only place she had to return was the mansion. The sun was beginning to set, and the young lady, she could not simply go wandering through town alone, nor did she have any acquaintances to take her in. Her world was, in essence, composed of two elements, her brother and the rose garden. To light her life at the Rose Manor, she lived a very isolated existence. When she escaped back home, Nellie went straight to her room, locked the door, and began sobbing. The waves of sorrow came crashing effortlessly over the levees. Tears streamed through the cracks of the walls of the dam, blocking her tear ducts. Why? Why? Why won't you help me, Mel? Why won't you take my side? The decor in her room appeared blurry through her damp eyes. Memories of the day she had it redecorated played back in her mind with crystal clarity. She told me she had no feelings for you. That liar, that liar. She let her emotions run wild, breaking glass craftworks, silver plates designed by famous foreign artisans, flower vases, and all sorts of things. It was as though a beast had been let loose in her bedchamber. The vase she tossed shattered against the painting hanging on the wall, spraying porcelain and roses in every direction. It was the portrait she adored so dearly, that of her and her brother. Ah, in what appeared to her like a metaphor for life, the frame fell off its mounting and came crashing to the floor. Nellie darted over and scooped it up. The frame had broken, but the painting inside was still unharmed. The two smiling children were still the very image of happiness, inseparable siblings holding one another's hand. My prince is no more. Though in her present state of mind, the image of happiness brought her nothing but misery. And she had felt, the worse she felt, the more frustrated she grew at the smiling girl and the kind boy of her past. The princess is no more either. You're not a princess anymore, Nellie. Some other woman has taken your place. I trusted you, Mel. I believed you would always be there for me. This painting is nothing. It's not the real Mel. It's not the real me. It's all a big fat lie. A lie. And I wish this painting never existed. It was never made. Never had a brother. The painting, this painting. In a fit of emotional distress, she scratched feverishly at the painting she once considered precious. She put more force into fingers than perhaps she or anyone could imagine. Flakes of paint began falling off the canvas, and in time she noticed something peculiar. Huh? What? Is this writing? Something's hidden beneath the paint. Just a little more. A date? Why would that be hidden? What could it be for? Completed. May 1587? So, this was only supposed to be, I think, 8 years after when they were that age. And it was like 1600. The numbers don't add up, is basically what they're doing here. She read aloud the faded, scratched up handwriting. After staring blankly at the text for some time, the color in her face began to drain. What is this? How? How could it have been painted 16 years ago? I wasn't even born then, and Mel had been just a baby. Is this not me? Is this not Mel? There's still more writing. Urged on by a rapid pounding heart, Nellie Forrest furiously scratched away the painting. Even as her clean pink fingernails soiled with fragments of paint and blood, she didn't stop. She was so overwhelmed by trepidation she couldn't stop. She had a horrible premonition about something about to happen, something indescribable or comprehensible. This is how I envision your son and unborn daughter might look several years from now. Your son and unborn daughter. So this was a painting of the future. Then it really is of me and Mel. No, use your head, stupid. I'm only 14. 16 years ago, I wouldn't have even been inside Mother. But then, who is this? Who is that holding Mel's hand? Who is it that's with my brother? More. There has to be more. Ow. Found it. There's more writing. I have to know. What is this? Calm down, Nellie. It's nothing to get worked up over. I'm sure it's nothing. Calm down and read. There's nothing to worry about. If our unborn child... What is the writing? This is what the writing on the painting said. If our unborn child does not have your hair color, then you will probably not be able to take her in as your own. I will be punished and my life made miserable. So I pray that this child might have flaxen hair. Though it is a sin to wish. Though is it a sin to wish she has in her a trace of me? I do hope it's a girl. What am I reading? I don't get it. Someone tell me, what does it mean? It means the girl that she's with is actually the daughter of. So this is still incest. Fuck. But. So, original daughter got booted because of the white hair and the red eyes. Back to the painter. So that's why they went off and left and everything. So, you are later. A painting from 16 years ago. Hair color. Sin. I do hope it is a girl. Yes. It's Nellie. Let me in. Lady Nellie? Oh, you changed out of your dress. That's a shame. It looked nice on you. It really did look so nice. Almost like you were a princess. Um, Lady Nellie? Say, I've got a question for you. Do you mind? By all means. What color hair did your father have? I beg your pardon? Did you not hear me? Should I repeat the question? No. I assumed it would be about Lord Mel. I'm just so curious about where you got that white color from. I. My father was more tan than white, so I didn't inherit my paleness from anyone. I asked about your father's hair color. Why would you want to? There's no reason you can't tell me, is there? My father, had white hair, but that was simply because he was an older man. I don't think he was born with. Lady Nellie? Uh, hey, guess what? I figured it out. I figured it all out. It was so simple. There's only one difference between you and me. The thing that Mel fell for is. Why do you have those? No, stay back. Murder. Ah, we finally reached this point in the tale, Master. If your memory has been refreshed, then we can return to the mansion immediately. Very well, then. If you insist, Master, we shall proceed with the story. It was a stormy night, much like the one our white-haired girl had first arrived on. It was quiet as a crypt in the mansion, not a single light visible in the halls. The house sat and waited for the sun to peek over the horizon. The darkness is, generally speaking, something that rushes by like a gust of wind as we sleep. The flaxen-haired young man, too, lay in bed, pale blue moonlight sporadically streaming through the gaps in the drawn velvet curtains as he attempted to submit to slumber. He was having difficulty drifting off, but as time trickled onward, he grew closer and closer to the arms of Morpheus. This is very well written. I do have to appreciate that. Suddenly, he sensed a presence in the room, much like that of the nights from weeks earlier. Is someone there? Answer me. A slender feminine finger pressed against his lips. There was no hostility in the motion, but rather a great deal of affection. The silhouette in the dark room was the same as that night. A flash of lightning shone through the drawn curtains, illuminating her beautiful white hair. Several silky locks spilled over her shoulders and brushed against Mel's cheeks. Oh, I don't like where this is going. A couple of soft puffs of air tickled his face, as though She was silently laughing. He assumed her finger held against her lips was a way of telling him to stay quiet. She began to slowly and delicately trace the outlining of his mouth, moving down his cheek, along his down line, as if over porcelain. You're, rather more forward than I remember. Well, I suppose you always were quite daring. This isn't the first time you sneaked into my bedchamber. The boy said in an attempt to conceal his surprise. Do you remember that night she came to exact revenge on him for her father? Indeed, she had proven herself to be rather a bold girl once already. It's dark. I can't see you very well. Why don't I light up a lamp, or perhaps we could open the... Before he could finish, the white-haired girl had sealed his lips with her own. In the near total darkness of the bedchamber, the two shadows appeared as one. They remained that way for several minutes. Their kiss was innocent, no more than pressing of two pairs of lips. At that same time, the white-haired girl lovingly ran her fingertips across his skin. When their lips were separated, Mel gasped for air. It seemed that he had been holding his breath. Slightly embarrassed at himself, he said, nothing. He could not speak. The silhouette hanging above him was certainly the white-haired girl's. Or was it? Because his next words were, "Get off me." He reflexively shoved the girl straddling him aside. She rolled out of bed, landing on the cold floor, but slowly and gradually she crawled her way back towards him. That wasn't very nice. Veiled in darkness, she slowly lifted her head. And then there was another flash of lightning. The heavy fabric of the curtains rustled, bolts of light streaming through the gaps. Her flaxen irises glimmered. Through the bluish-white light, they took a twinge of almost golden glow. Sorry, the gibberish. But man, no need to be so rough. This isn't the first time she's visited your bedchamber, is it, Mel? Or did I not kiss you the same way? Tell me, how does she run your fingers across your skin? What does she do when she nuzzles up to you? Stop. Stop this madness, Nellie. Why would you do this? Because you like white hair, don't you, Mel? You like white hair, which is why you fell for her, isn't it? So if I have white hair, you'll fall for me too. Then I can be your princess again, dearest Mel. What what are you even talking about? He couldn't escape from his sister's piercing gaze. Why? What happened? How could she? Questions crashed into the young man's mind like stormy waves. But none of them found answers. She simply caused him further perplexity. Your hair. What happened to your hair? How did you get that color? Oh, this? You like my wig? I figured as much. But as soon as the words left her mouth, Mel was in motion, propelled by pure instinct. He clenched Nellie's shoulders tight enough to dig his fingers into her flesh. You're hurting me, Mel. What did you do to her? Tell me. Tell me what you did. I made her leave. It was a perfectly reasonable decision. She was obviously not nobility, and thus hardly fit to be part of this household. But there's no need to worry, Mel. I'm here to take her place. You sound like a madwoman. It doesn't matter if she was of noble blood or not. She promised she would stay by my side. So why? How could you do that to her? I promised you that long before she did. And I love you far more than she did, Mel. Have you lost your mind? You're not making any sense. Where is she? What's she doing? It's always her with you. What more could you want from me? Tell me, what is it that she has that I don't? What do I have to do to get you to focus on me and only me? We're siblings. Don't you understand what you're doing? Oh, I understand quite well. Far better than you do, dearest Mel. Even I know the former queen was executed for it. But if we don't get caught, then there's no problem. Nellie, you. Are you saying that you've always felt this way about me? Yeah, dumbass. But all the same, is initially innocent, like reasonable for that age. Oh my, you didn't notice, dearest Mel. You truly are a dense one. I guess romance just isn't your strong suit. But you've noticed now, haven't you? You know exactly how I feel about you, right? Quit it. Enough. Don't say anything else. Stop. Stop having these insane feelings for me. It's disgusting. What are you laughing about? Poor, poor Mel, content in your complete ignorance. All right, I'll tell you everything. Mel, you can only love a blood related woman. Huh? His cackling sister appeared to him like some kind of inhumane life form. Her actions and incomprehensible exclamations slowly drained him of strength. What kind of deranged nonsense is that? I love her. She's your sister, Mel. Ah, very funny. How far of your mind have you gone, Nellie? Poor, poor, poor Mel. Do you honestly know nothing? Say that her father was a painter. He painted pictures for a living. What of it? For a time, her father painted for our family. You've seen the picture before, dearest Mel. The one hanging in my room for the two of us? That was painted by her father. He did a good job, didn't he? I kept asking and asking until you finally agreed to hold my hand. How did you feel about that? You were rather embarrassed, weren't you? Do you remember that day, dearest Mel? You couldn't possibly remember it. There's a chance you might remember this. Before we moved to this mansion, we had a painter with white hair. I don't remember any such thing. He was long, long ago a painter in the service of the Rhodes family. But that painter did something very bad, and because of that, he couldn't remain a part of our household. Do you know what he did, Mel? He lay with Mother. Father was chased from your house. If the child had been born with flaxen hair, then the painter wouldn't have been thrown out. The baby would have been accepted as part of our family. But that wasn't how it turned out. The child had white hair. She didn't look at all like she carried the Rhodes family bloodline. But see, Mother had me. That's all the proof you need. The girl born 16 years ago didn't have flaxen hair. Up until his last breath, he was only ever concerned about me. He held me in his arms and ran his hands through my hair, an apologetic look on his face. You're talking total nonsense. What proof do you have? If you want to see it, I'll gladly show you. The artist left a message in the painting in my room. Tell me, am I truly wrong? What did that girl tell you? You're lying. What part of this is a lie, Mel? Everything I'm telling you is the truth. Why don't you go ask Mother? I'm sure she'd throw quite the fit. Mother, what? The mistress did not send me away when she saw me. Quite the opposite. She took me in as a servant. It never made any sense to me. Why would you hire a maid you knew nothing about, someone who just showed up on the door one day? And when I asked Mother to make her my maid, she stubbornly refused. From a good house? Don't make me laugh. If she were really nobility, she would have given us her name. But Mother was so desperate to cover up her mistake. That doesn't make any sense. I don't believe a word you're saying. It couldn't possibly be true. Wouldn't it be nice to bury your head in the sand? But Mel, feigning ignorance is a sin. No, I refuse to believe it. Not a chance in hell. You don't understand anything. How I feel, how much I've suffered. Do you have any idea how long I've loved you? Knowing that you would never accept my affection. But then, fancy that, you fell in love with your half-sister. Then I should qualify for your love too. Shouldn't I, Mel? Stop it. Enough. Shut your mouth. Not another word. I don't believe any of this. Mel. I know you'll never love me. I know there's nowhere for me to run. Say, when we were kids, was that really me? Was I really by your side, Mel? If that painting tells the whole truth, I was never once did I get to be your princess. Not even once. Dearest Mel, everyone just loves to dote on me. They're always telling me how pretty I am. Mother does, Father does, and all the maids do too. I can do anything I want. So for me, acting like a spoiled child was the only thought of rebellion I have. I don't have the kind of freedom you do, Mel. I'm just a doll for the family to play with. And when I have visitors, it's only ever for show. So it's not my fault I don't have friends. Dearest Mel, you're the only one who's ever cared about me more than anything in the world. Dearest Mel, I always knew how I'd react if you fell in love. I'd cry my eyes out. I would envy her to death. I'd be angry as a bull. But eventually, I would have given up. I knew I could never have it my way after all. That my feelings would never bear fruit. So why did she have to be your sister? Tell me, why? Oh, dearest Mel, here you are reading again such hard books. Your eyes would go bad if you spent too long staring at the pages. I'll be fine, Nellie. It's not like I'm reading 24 hours a day. No, it's not good enough. If your eyes go bad, dearest Mel, you won't be able to see me anymore. Haha, you worry too much. I can see fine, well, my princess. Your hair glimmering in the sun and your beautiful smile. I can see clear as day, and that'll never change. Plus, the skies are really clear today, even more radiant than usual. You know, it's my favorite season. Winter's cold and there's so much rain I can't stand it. But as it gets closer to my birthday, the clouds go away, just as I adore the sun. Ah, yes, it's almost your birthday again, isn't it? Have you decided what you're going to ask Father for? Not yet. I want pretty dolls and shoes with sparkling gems. And I also want a pretty dress like the one Mother wears. A list like that long is asking a bit much, even for father. But, dearest Mel, I already have what I want the most. Truth is, as long as I have that, I don't need anything else. Oh, and what would that be? The hairpin they bought for you the other day? Or maybe the song they had written for you last year? None of that, dearest Mel. Huh, then what could it be? Now I'm really curious. What is it so valuable to you? It's a secret. Girls have so many secrets, they just don't know what to do. Say, dearest Mel, would you run your fingers through my hair? Just for a little bit? What's gotten into you, Neely? Or why are you so hungry for attention all of a sudden? Please, dearest Mel. Oh, Nellie, what am I going to do with you? Come over here. I want to sit on your lap. Yes, yes, as you wish, my beautiful little princess. Say, dearest Mel, what is it this time, Nellie? Right now, I'm so incredibly happy. Oh, and out of curiosity, who was it that you really cared about so much about? In a fevered frenzy, Mel fled from the mansion. Even in early summer, the night was cold. To make matters worse, raindrops pelted him from head to toe. But that caused him little discomfort, for a far greater maelstrom of pain rampaged through his breast. At night, the town took on a different appearance, not simply for a lack of illumination, but the people active within it as well. It was not a suitable place for a young aristocratic man to go wandering unattended. The darkness is not the abode of the devils, but beggars, thieves, criminals, and all manners of things undesirable. But despite that, he continued running, knowing not to where he was to head. He simply went where his feet took him. And when he arrived there, he was at the church. Okay. I'm going to take a quick break. Be sure to hydrate, take care of yourself, get up, stretch. Ugh, BRB. Whew. This is good. Love a good story. Father, God should be God should be able to offer me counsel, to answer all my questions about that painting, about her, about Nellie's feelings. Not her lies, but the truth. Please, open the door. Open the door. But as you might expect, the door was locked and the priest showed no sign of responding to his calls. The sound of pouring rain drowned out everything else. His head dropped feebly. He looked like a helpless little calf who had wandered alone onto a dark, precarious mountain path with no end in sight. Why? Why won't anyone tell me the truth? All I want is for someone to tell me it's not true. Have I sinned? No, I didn't know anything. I didn't know. No, none of it's true. So, I haven't done anything wrong. I'm not at fault, am I? Nevertheless, his sister's claims and her laughs continued to echo within his head. If he truly believed it to be false, he would have gone to look at the painting. That he could not. It was an indication of uncertainty that had a stronger grip on him. Fragmented images of a white-haired painter fluttered through the back of his mind, but he desperately shoved them aside. What good is the church? What good is theology? What good is God? What? Something moved near the boy. Something stood immediately behind him and grasped his light dressing gown. He had been so consumed in his own world he had not noticed the person's presence until they were close enough to touch him. What? Who are you? Standing there was the beggar dressed in tattered rags. He's still begging at the church? The hooded beggar tentatively extended his hand toward Mel, pleading for relief with sad, slender fingers. Were he a generous young man, Mel would have given the beggar something. Were he generous, of course. Lord, get your filthy hands off me. I don't have a damn thing to give you right now. Don't you dare touch me. Suddenly, the beggar's head turned upwards. My eyes to catch the beggar's. Her hood fell back, revealing her hairless head. What? Why? A pair of red eyes gazing bitterly through a familiar, distinctive glimmer at Mel. Red eyes. She immediately covered her face and turned to run. It can't be. That beggar's always been here. You said it yourself, they wouldn't survive much longer. How could you be so certain she was that same beggar? Wait for me. Perhaps, as someone of such high social standing, all beggars appeared the same to you. Or perhaps you wanted to believe your meager generosity made a difference, that you did something of value. I will not say it's wrong to think so. Wait for me. I chase after her, the fleeting girl. Though I shout for her to stop, she continues to run. The rain is so heavy, I'm afraid I might lose her. I'm terrified. But I didn't do anything wrong, did I? I'm begging you, please stop. I just want to talk. She comes to a stop at the corner. Please do not go around this corner. It's you, isn't it? I'm sorry. Why are you apologizing? What I said back there was terrible, and I am truly sorry for that. I didn't realize it was you. Please come back to me. If you're concerned about social status, I'll figure something out. And Nellie's getting married off soon enough. Oh, yes, Nellie. She did some horrible things to you. She's lost her mind. She was talking nonsense. But don't worry, she'll be out of the picture soon enough. I'll make sure you're safe. Say something, please. Are you angry? You're angry, aren't you? I'm not angry at you. I'm not. Did you know everything? Did you come to our house aware of everything? What? Did you? Please tell me. The priest isn't around and everything Naily says is a lie. You're the only one to tell me it's not true. What are you? Our relationship. I don't understand what you're saying. Ah, I see you don't know. You don't know. It's for the best. Nellie's the only one who knows, and she'll be gone before long. Everything will be alright. Lord, no. It'll all be alright. Let's go back. I'll make sure you're never put in danger again. I'm begging you, stay with me. My appearance is no longer suitable to stand at your side. You saw how unsightly I am back at the church, did you not? Hair can grow back. That's not a problem. Now I truly look the part of the hideous witch. But I am to blame. It was a sin for me to find happiness in your kindness. What are you talking about? My sin was falling in love with you. Not what happened to my father, nor how we had to spend our days. There's no sin in that. We have our whole lives ahead of us. Don't we? With enough time, this whole tragic mess will be behind us. Things will only get better from here. I'll be your prince, like the one who took the girl to see the outside world. So please, give me your hand. Come to me. Don't leave me all alone. I need you by my side. Please. I extend my hand around the corner. I sense her hesitating beyond the bend. I'm begging you. I can't see what's on the other side, but a vision of her reaching out to put her hand in mine wells up in my mind. But that story never had an ending. What? She doesn't take my hand. I doubt the girl ever wrote that letter. She's not there when I turn the corner. Why? How did things end up like this? Where did I go wrong, oh God? Your error was likely your kindness. Thoughtlessly, haphazardly, spreading through generosity. But that generosity came from your own desire to avoid pain. For you and your own happiness. What should I have done? I can't take this. Everyone was happy. Nellie used to laugh and smile. She once meant the world to me. How did things end up like this? It's not my fault. I didn't do anything wrong. If you pretended like nothing happened, then perhaps things could go on smiling in your head. But regardless, you must follow up on the path you tread. Is your path alone? The path you chose when in that moment you decided to run. Make the wrong choice in those moments, you'll find yourself on the road to ruin. I would have been better off not knowing. Better off in the dark. I just wanted those tranquil days to last. They were supposed to last forever. At some point, your childhood must come to an end. And that ending may not be the one you anticipated. I can't stand. You yearn for a world that would treat you with kindness. What should I do? What should I have done? Someone, please, help me. You should return now. If you spend too long out here, you're likely to catch a cold. Now let us return to our own time. So fucked up. Luckily, It was just her hair. I thought she scalped her, but this is slightly better. Okay. The crestfallen young man faded into the distance, and the decrepit double doors clacked shut. Though the shattered glass, through the shattered glass, you could only see the ruins of a garden. Not a single rose growing within. You had evidently returned from the past. In the garden, weeds grew taller than people. You found it difficult to look at. A wolf howled in the distance. The children, the sea of roses, the white-haired girl were nowhere to be found. You and the maid, who called you master, were the only people present at the mansion. What happened to them next? Oh, master, you would know better than I. My, you can't remember? It seems this is quite serious then. Worry not, my loyalty lies with you, master. The mansion has witnessed more yet. Let us make our way to the second door. Your hand in hers, the maid guided you back to the kitchen, through the tea room. Her palms were still cold. You felt as though you were clenching ice. Master, do you wish to know the truth, no matter what may be hidden within? Or, if it's something you would rather be happier not knowing, would you rather remain in the dark? Oh, is that so? I wonder about their father. The flaxen-haired sibling's father? Do you think he knew about the white-haired girl? If he did, then perhaps he allowed her to stay because of how deeply he loved his wife. Or maybe because he did not want people finding out about her. I expect he too experienced many different emotions. But those pages of his story would remain untold. Their parents likely had a turbulent tale as well, but theirs is not of consequence. To whom? I couldn't tell you. You and the maid crossed through the entrance hall, continuing your trek. At some point, the fire in the fireplace had faded to embers, emphasizing the lack of light within the mansion. The maid took a candlestick and lit it in the cinders. A small flame illuminated her pale face. On a whim, you asked the maid about herself. About me? I'm a maid devoted to your service, master, as I have said. Oh, what was that? You're interested in my name? You flatter me. I truly do appreciate the question, but you're more than welcome to simply call me the maid. Also, it would make me much happier to hear you say my name after you've recalled who you are, master. A subtle smile rose in the maid's face, after which she began to lead you down the first floor corridor. Still holding the maid's hand, you passed in front of a full-length mirror. In it reflected the warm light of the candle, which disappeared out of range shortly thereafter. Oh my, is it something the matter? Did you come across something peculiar? The maid had not appeared in the mirror, though she was not the only one without a reflection. You reached the end of the corridor. There appeared to be a doorway, but the door itself had long since gone, leaving only a hole in the wall to the frame where the stairs lie behind it. Without hesitation, the maid descended into the darkness. You have more interest in this mansion, master, than in this mere maid, do you not? Though it pains me to say as much in your presence, master, this house is cursed. Yes, it has a curse that runs deep. As soon as you bore witness to the majority of those who dwell within these walls fall into misfortune. I have served here for many years, and periods of happiness are as fleeting as a sugar cube in a cup of hot tea. Why did such tragedies befall them? If I were to guess, master, it was because you had not returned. But when you remember your true self, the mansion's curse should be broken. The next door is before us. It appeared to be the entrance to the cellar. The disconsolate wooden door was visibly rotten in several places, and it seemed it might crumble at a single touch. You could hear the sound of something devouring meat beyond the door. Maybe there was a beast living within. Before you had a chance to say you thought it dangerous, the maid had opened the door with a chilling smile on her face. Your first impression was that it smelt of blood. Alright, I'm gonna call it there. This is the best place I could think of to stop. This is several years in the future. Save. Thank you all for watching. This has been my first playthrough of the house in Fate Morgana. This is the second episode, so thank you for watching. Feel free to follow, like, subscribe. And if you want to see me do this live, check me out on twitch.tv/BronwynKinku. And until next time, be good to yourself. Have a good one.